You know, they also are one of the lead competitors to have what it takes. Sky and Scroll, fan favorites as well. The Danish Demons, they're getting gassed up on EU right now. You were even talking about it. No eliminations, but being on con, they are taking the safer route, and in the end game is where we're going to see them shine.
Just wait to see how they choose to really try and beat some low ground demons. It's a layer that they definitely feel very comfortable with, but all these teams just try and scurry off, get set up into their positions, because things are really about to start heating up here. Takada reboots soon to disable the moment that we took over. It's the start of 7th zone, so that's something that everybody has to keep in mind here, is that once you are eliminated, you are not coming back the moment that this zone closes and 7th is launched. So I think that so many players, they really just want to make sure they're fixated in their positions before things really kick off.
Marius is looking incredibly dangerous as he gets knocked down by Shark, and now the focus from Eyedrop, he's also cracked, gets eliminated right beside him. There's just 40 seconds left until respawns are completely disabled. So these players now are feeling nervous.
But they're just gone. Toast, Shark and Dini, just absolutely decimating them, and that's the dangerous part about some of these crash pad rotates, or even when you're looking to shockwave forward. You don't want to draw the lobby focus, but it's hard to stay concealed, especially with how congested everything gets. I mean, it's just not big enough for everyone. And Nico, Malabuka, this is a very problematic scene currently, as Vico wishes that he could find some kind of an opening here. Malabuka will manage to touch down just in time, but he's still going to be rather scuffed in comparison to some of these other teams.Ey're going to need a big refresh here. All the while, Shark and Teeny, they just continue to stay put. Got a really strong position. They're also very aware of that team holding down high distance, Prism and Casper.
Yeah, great job looking back onto the rotates here. They just don't want to get buried in the dirt when all the players start rotating towards them. Chat Flixie going through, or Malabuka, I believe, was eliminated. Picking up some of the loot.
It's gonna get the pickaxe.
Chap and Flixie, though, they don't want to get caught out
the one that you have.
and just stuck.
No, you can't get it.
Sure, you always want to rotate when everybody else is, but
You can't get it.
when there are already some teams kind of leading more towards that front side of zone, it can be very difficult to actually break through into those positions. Hoodis and Pink, though, they've managed to stay a little bit more committed towards these low ground areas, and
It's super hard.
grappler there for Hoodis, but
It took me like
Zeds
to
pose a threat here. They don't want to let anybody else follow suit behind them. Pablo and Chino just gonna get some friendly fire shots there.
Oh, I
It's all
thought only
about
by
Pink,
joining.
and it is just trying to claim their positionings here. As Chino,
No.
Pablo,
first
send themselves forward. So many teams underneath. Chap, Flixie still taking their time though.
Oh,
They don't want to strike just yet. Don't want to overexpose yourself.
What do you mean I didn't play on it? I'm playing on
Position
mine.
right now, not only like literally, but the loadout they have, the mats, looking incredibly healthy to close out the later section of this game. Moving zones are already about to begin, and they are lined up perfectly to make something solid happen.
Only a matter of time to foresee Chino and Pablo potentially start setting up for some of these pre-edits in case they have teams that maybe look to try and pull up from behind them. A lot of lurking taking place though. Ping and Kiro. Now, this is a team that could definitely pop off. People aren't wary of their positioning, but Shark, Teeny, they'll waste no time. They're gonna immediately catapult themselves towards front side zone. Just box up for a moment. Maybe they can look back, try to see if there's anybody to pick off, but for the most part, Takada, they're looking to just take this open battle with Asa and Podesai if they choose to actually keep trying to challenge on those walls. Instead, it could even be a little bit of a cutoff here. Sky and Scroll now needing to make their move through this secondary high, a little bit more towards that mid-ground position. They don't need to drop just yet, and they want to be careful not to get caught out inside of the water either. So many other teams seemingly struggling to keep their mats healthy.
A potential difficult pull here. It's almost safe to assume that it's gonna pull back, but it is gonna go towards the east. Chino Pablo now quick to rotate up ahead of zone. They have to be careful with the pressure above. Gotta be aware of the shockwaves below. It's so much more things to keep in mind now with the pure chaos
Fortnite
of reload.
FNTS.
Shark though, he's lost TV, playing as a solo once again ahead, but this is the game mode where you have the opportunity to clutch it alone.
If anything, this is probably the best opportunity that you'll have is in a reload format. We saw so many solo clutches even taking place throughout the Heat group. So
there's a guy on me. There's a guy on me.
All alone in the high ground. It doesn't seem like anybody's actually noticed. They're just parking overhead, but it's still be a incredibly dangerous position to try and lock down. Shockwaves, it can be very difficult to kind of keep tabs on everything, and their builds maybe not as healthy as they would like them to be for holding down this high ground position. But with everybody getting so smothered in the layers down below, Flixie, they know they've got to just keep trying to break through. But Shark, as a solo, he just burning through material so quickly. He needs to get outside the high ground team, so he'll be forced to transition down into a lower layer, but he doesn't want to go to ultimate low just yet. He's got to wait until he's a little bit further back towards backside of zone because he needs a big refresh. He's got to catch somebody else off guard.
Yeah, no mobility. He's gonna have to ride the wave here, playing backside slowly. But there is an unexpected visitor knocking on his door. Haris right beside him. And Sky has been fully eliminated. Shark now starting to rotate. 25 builds to work with. It's all wood though, as he goes back once again to play it slow, making use of that.
Oh my god, I hate this game.
Vision is just so obscure, and the team on high actually posing such a problem right now for Haris. He is scrambling every which way, but Twag and Pedro, they actually look to be in the best position currently just because they're out of the eye of focus. Are going to be forced to drop, just chopped out into this Memphis grenade. No idea which way to look. He's just trying to get a little bit of space here, but he's going to be knocked. Doesn't actually find the wiggle room he needs. Chino, Pablo, now running down to their last few builds, and Chino, he just can't hold on any longer. He'll be knocked too. Prism and Casper now trying to see if there's anybody else that they can get tangled up with. A ping, Hiro. Everything is just falling apart next to them, but they're still managing to hold on.
Maestro, Twick up above, still raining down onto the players below. Pablo doing what he can with the quick elimination, but he's got no med miss grenade to hold on to zone. He's looking back now, trying to figure out what's the rotate in. It's gonna be a shockwave play as Twick doing what he can to connect the previous builds and apply that pressure below. 2 med kits in the inventory, but the pressure on the ground is non-stop.
There are just so many solos underneath them, but Pablo has a decent amount of builds. Still one more pizza slice to work with too, and he's got that mythic sentinel. That could be the real difference maker here, Takada. If he can get just a single tag, apply some good pressure onto any of the healthier duos remaining. Kudo now forced to try and use some of his pre-existing builds, but Midra and Twek have this lobby in the palm of their hands. It's all about closing things out. Pablo still secondary height position. Prism, Casper, ultimate low. Pablo down to his final 4 builds. He needs to try and pick somebody off the moment they go up, but Demish doing everything he can to prevent that from happening, and it's gonna be a turn and burn onto Kiro. That is just one further lifeline, but he needs another siphon if he wants to keep trying to maintain his positioning, and Pablo will be claimed by Demish right after. That's the siphon connection he was hoping for. Now just Casper and Prism underneath. He's hoping maybe Midra and Twag decide to get a little bit more involved, but Casper, Prism, just a little bit too healthy here. They'll finally take out Demish. But when it comes down to a battle of attrition here, Takada, I fear Midra and Twag, they might have the upper hand.
Not only do they have the med miss grenade, a slurp as well in the inventory alongside the 2 med kits, and Casper knows this. He goes for the elimination, but gets shut down instantly by Twek and Midra, who are going to close out game 1. What a way to start the day, Taco.
Like initially, it's hard to believe that the high ground hold could just work out so buttery smooth, but Twek, Midro, they were just on to something different. They realized how smothered everybody else was in those congested lower layers, and they took full advantage of it. But Frankie, Reese, Levin, what have y'all got to say?
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, that really super smooth for Twek and Midro. Like, they were totally unbothered in the top layers for so long, Levin.
Yeah, I mean, they made it look really, really easy. I think one of the big things in this meta, right, is how do you play height in a game where you have so many people with shockwaves, right, and dealing with that. potential shockwavers. And I think Resub, a lot of people would have expected the players to do well on height who maybe have a bit more experience than the likes of the Midras and Twex, right? They made it look like they've been playing height in like top level finals lobbies for years.
Absolutely, and they're clearly extremely well prepared for a reload final.